Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tyler Henry.
I serve as the Vice President for Alpha Phi Alpha Zeta Delta Chapter here at Michigan State University. I am overjoyed to welcome you all to the Martin Luther King Jr. Commemorative March. Marches have been used by all people from all around the world to help bring awareness and much-needed change to their communities and beyond. Since 1980, Michigan State University has hosted successful events and efforts to celebrate the life and times of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I would like to begin by acknowledging some key players in MSU's effort to create social change and awareness. First, we have Michigan State University President Luana Simon. Former Vice President of Student Affairs and today's keynote speaker after the march, Dr. Lee June. Senior Advisor to President Simon for Diversity and Director of the Office for Inclusion and Cultural Initiatives, Paulette Granberry Russell. Vice President for Student Affairs and Services, Dr. Denise Maybank. Lastly, I have been charged with the distinct pleasure of introducing you all to civil rights leader and MSU alum, Ernie Green. Mr. Green was born in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1941. In 1957, Ernie Green became a part of the legendary Little Rock Nine. The Little Rock Nine was a small group of African-American students who became the first non-white students to attend Little Rock Central High School. In making this brave move, Green became a part of history by courageously breaking down barriers of racism and segregation. Green's righteous acts did not go unnoticed. Martin Luther King Jr. actually attended Ernie Green's high school graduation. Green received a scholarship to attend MSU, where he continued to work tirelessly as an activist and civil rights leader. In 1961, he became a charter member for Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated Sigma chapter here at Michigan State University. Ernie Green graduated with honors in 1962 with a bachelor's degree in social science and then on to receive his master's degree in sociology. Green went on to serve as the director for the Philip Randolph Education Fund for 9 years. He then served under Jimmy Carter during his time as President of the United States. Green currently works as a managing director for Lehman Brothers Financial Services firm in Washington, D.C. In 1999, Ernie Green received the highest civilian honor you can receive in the United States of America. He was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal by President Bill Clinton for his righteous acts as a member of the Little Rock Nine. I believe it goes without saying, this man made Michigan State University a better place for every one of us. Without people like Ernie Green, we wouldn't have progressive student organizations like the Black Student Alliance. Without people like Ernie Green, we wouldn't have influential university departments like the Office for Inclusion and Cultural Initiatives. We must ask ourselves, how can we be a part of social justice in the same way that he has? Let's take a brief moment to look at how ordinary people have battled injustice all around the world. I would like to ask you all to please direct your eyes now to our PowerPoint. We start our journey in India, where Mahatma Gandhi led a 240-mile march to protest the British salt tax, which made it illegal to sell or produce salt. One can only imagine his determination and desire for justice for his people. For him to have walked 240 miles. We then head to South Africa, where Nelson Mandela marched and fought to end racism and oppression in his homeland. Mandela has been acknowledged worldwide for his bravery and unbreakable spirit through a ton of adversity. In Delhi, India, citizens marched and protested due to high food prices and rising unemployment. Many of them said they had become fed up with the oppression and unfair labor practices. In Australia, Aboriginal people marched for land rights and equality. For many years, these Native people were oppressed, but they continued to march and fight, and eventually, they gained the Aboriginal Land Rights Act, which was passed in 1976 and allowed them, to get back their original land. Next, we head to Europe, where everyday citizens marched and protested against environmental damage and unfair government elections. The Arab Spring occurred in various countries in North Africa and the Middle East. This was a major anti-government uprising that led to many protests and notable marches in recent years. In Washington, D.C., thousands of people came together to march for equal rights for gay and lesbian citizens. Famous songwriter and musician Lady Gaga led and attended one of these marches in 2009, using her power and influence to push for these people that have been oppressed. Next, we head to Birmingham, Alabama, where Martin Luther King Jr. marched for the civil rights and equality of all people. Here, we see MLK addressing the crowd at the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963. Before concluding, I would like to acknowledge some of the amazing work being done by the Office for Inclusion and Intercultural Initiatives. Project 6050 is a university-wide initiative to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the Supreme Court decision in Brown versus the Topeka Board of Education, and the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Starting with the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. commemorative celebration, and throughout 2014, Michigan State University will invite its campus and its off-campus communities, to engage in year-long initiatives to make our campus a better place for all people. In concluding, I would like to leave you all with this quote. Let's all read this together aloud. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, by Martin Luther King Jr. I would like to thank you for your time, and I will now welcome the president of Alpha Phi Alpha Zeta Delta chapter, Keon Clinton, to the podium. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Human progress is neither automatic nor inevitable. Every step toward the goal of justice required sacrifice, suffering, and struggle. The tireless exertions and passionate concerns of dedicated individuals, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to stand before you today and commemorate the great achievements, revolution, and the fight for justice Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. accomplished and dedicated his life to so that future generations may advance. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is known for a plethora of things in our American history. He's best known for his role in the advancement of civil rights using nonviolent civil disobedience, other accomplishments such as the Montgomery bus boycott, the protests in Birmingham, Alabama, his Nobel Peace Prize for combating racial inequality through nonviolence, and the numerous marches he led to fight for equality everywhere. He's also known for his ability to captivate his audiences through his profound speeches. As we all know, one of his most impactful and most memorable speeches that was taken on August 28th, 1963, entitled, "I Have a Dream." In this speech, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made it clear what his dreams were. But my question to you all is, are we still dreaming? Or have we let complacency become the forefront of our visions because we are content with the social progression we have made thus far? No longer should we exert our energy to turning up, but our generation needs to wake up and stare in the mirror. And by staring in the mirror, I hope that we not only see a reflection, but we take the time to do a self-inspection. With that being said, this is the perfect time to reflect and better ourselves. Who in this room had a New Year resolution? Now that we made it to a new year, I had the pleasure of listening to my confidants' New Year's resolutions. And the most common one of them all is the New Year, New Me resolution. If you're one of my peers with these resolutions, I commend you on your proactive approach to do better. But in order to be a new you, you have to do just that. Be new. After living your life for 18 plus years, it can be difficult to start anew. So allow me to assist you on how to develop a new you. Typically, we will wake up in the morning, start our day, complete our daily hygiene, and we begin to put on clothes. And not just any type of clothing, we put on that brand new outfit that covers our flaws. That shirt that covers our fear of stepping out of our comfort zone, hence deterring us from reaching our full potential. Those expensive jeans that reduce our ability to walk by faith and not by sight. We put on that expensive coat that give us that high self-esteem to ourselves and to the public eye. Consequently, after long days of wearing these outfits day after day, our clothes begin to wear out. The disguises and cover-up we have used in the past to hide our insecurities will start to peek through the broken seams of our clothes. We begin to realize that certain outfits simply go out of style, and certain behavioral acts that we portray on a daily basis are not socially acceptable anymore. To couple with this, we all have to acknowledge that there are issues, internally and externally, with our student body here at Michigan State University that we cannot cover up anymore because they are not socially acceptable. Keep this in mind. Less is more. Approximately 12 to 13% of the American population is African American. African American males make up 80.1% of the 2.1 million male inmates either in jail or in prison. Less is more. 28% of women in the United States have obtained at least a college degree. But 510 million out of the 780 million people in the world that are illiterate are women. Less is more. Black enrollments in higher education is at an all-time high. Yet, nationwide, the black student college graduation rate remains at a dismally low level of 45%. Less is more. 33 out of the 50 states ban same-sex marriage, denying the religious freedom to over 700,000 households in America. Less is more. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not come here today to point the finger at any of you today, but only to pose a plan. Understand that this is not an African American versus Caucasian battle, nor a minority versus majority battle. This is a battle that is solely based on every individual assisting one another so that we all may reach that ultimate goal of living the American dream. In order to reach this ultimate goal, two things must happen. We must first put our differences aside and realize that we are the talented 10th. Look around you. The men and women standing next to you are the future. The next lawyers, doctors, engineers, professors, scientists, future activists, and future leaders. We can no longer remain selfish with these talents. We must be willing to share them with someone else so that future generations and prosperity can live on decades from now. We have to realize that we have the necessary tools within our communities to ensure equity amongst all races and ethnicities. With that being said, we can proceed to the second event that must take place, a revolution. It would then be time to modify the Constitution of the United States of America. How are we going to remain progressive and efficient if we are still using the same archaic methods? We need to center our focus around innovation and creativity. Innovation is the beginning of a new creation. So let's implement new rules, set higher standards, and never forget to keep dreaming. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream was the inception to many dreams. His dream influenced my dream to begin my plan so that I can become more progressive, so that I can become more effective. Now is the time. Today is our time. It is time to set the standards higher than we've ever set them before, because without a higher standard, there is no high reward. It is time for me to demand more from myself and from my peers, because average will no longer be the standard. We are intellectual and inspiring individuals, but until we realize that we have a greater purpose in life, it will be impossible to create solidarity within our communities. I want to leave you with some words as we move forward in life. Matthew 4:19 says, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." When I first read this, I was confused and I did not understand this verse. So I began to do my research and converse with my peers, and I've concluded that there are two types of people in this world: carpenters and fishermen. A carpenter goes out into the forest with all the tools that one needs necessary to effectively do their job. They have the luxury of choosing the finest wood there is, and they pick and choose from the richest soil where these trees have been planted for years. But the verse states, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." When we are fishing in the sea of Michigan State University and we join our respectful organizations, we are equipped with one tool: a net. And as we throw that net into the sea and pull up, we will see on the top the great quality of fish: the white bass, the overachievers, the catfish, those who have provided numerous hours of community service to their communities, the tilapia, those who has never gotten into any trouble or made minimal mistakes in their lives. But the beauty of a fisherman is that after you have searched through the top of the net, you can then search through the bottom, where you will find seaweed. Those students who come from less fortunate households who have a hard time adapting to college life. You will also find those long-lost treasures that's been in the sea for years. Those students on academic probation that wants to succeed but do not know the proper method to revitalize that drive that they once had. You'll also find that there are fish that do not have the same qualities as the other ones. We have found out that we have found in that net that there's people that do not look like us. They do not talk like us, nor do they act like us. However, it is our obligation to give them the proper assistance they need to flourish so that as a whole, we may come stronger. It is now time to stop just being organizations and become organisms and affect the entire student body here at Michigan State University. We can no longer pick and choose who we want to help. We can no longer limit how much we're willing to give back to our communities, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, we can no longer stop dreaming. In memory of the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service. So I challenge you all today to not only be great for yourself, but to be great for the future generations so when they look back in history, they will commemorate your legacy. Thank you.